Countdown takes place in 1962 outside of Washington, D.C. during the 2 weeks of the Cuban Missile Crisis. 11-year-old Franny is trying to make sense of the world and her family as things are falling apart around her, it seems. She's not sure if she's going to wake up tomorrow and be bombed by the Russians who have missiles in Cuba. She's unsure of friendship that she's had for 2 years. That's her best friend. It seems to be falling apart. She's interested in the boy across the street, and she's got a 2-week period coming ahead of her that's going to change her life. The first line of the book is, "I am 11 years old and I am invisible." Franny feels invisible to her teacher, to her mother and dad. She's the middle child, and she feels like nothing she does is right, and she is ignored. She feels like she'll say, "No one asks about my day. No one wants to know how things are for me." And yet by the end of the book, she comes to understand that she's not invisible. She is still the middle child, but there's so much that's rich about her life that she hasn't really opened her eyes to. I based the entire book on my own life, meaning that I did grow up in 1962 right outside of Andrews Air Force Base. My dad was the chief of safety for the 89th, which was the squadron that flew and still flies the president, and it was scary during those 2 weeks in October. We really were ducking and covering under our desks, and we did not know when the air raid siren went off if we were going to be okay or not. And I've always wanted to write about that time that scared me, but I wasn't sure how. I'm delighted to tell you about the format of the book because it's so different. The name is documentary novel. That's the word, the phrase that we've come up with because we didn't really know what we had in the beginning. I wanted to include the materials from that time, the photographs, the ads. There are pictures inside of Khrushchev, Kennedy, Castro, maps, still photographs, movie stills, and directions to build your own bomb shelter, and newspaper and magazine clippings. These are the things of the time, and I wanted to be able to offer a visual as well as the words that you read, the actual novel, the story that you read. I wanted you to have the visual too of what Franny would be seeing, all the things that her family, her school, her neighbors would be living with during that time. Franny finds that she's connected to everything in the world. Not just that family, not just that school, not just the town, not just the United States, but Russia, everywhere. We're all connected.